Hey guys, Mustang in here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so we've just had the reveal of the V-Jump scan for the upcoming V-Jump episode. And we were waiting to see this in terms of Dokkan, because they often show who is going to EZA in the later part of the anniversary in this particular issue. A lot of speculation has been going around, and you can see here, shout out to DBS Hype for the scan. You can see down here at the bottom, the free-to-play units, we obviously knew we're getting an EZA. That always happens, right? It happened last year as well, year before. But look here on the bottom right, we have LR INT Goku and Vegeta that fuse into Vegito, and LR physical Goku and Vegeta that fuse into Gogeta. So yes, we've been talking about and speculating about the units that were potentially going to get an EZA, especially the LRs in this next part of the anniversary. And remember, all the speculating, something that I have kept bringing up over and over again, is the fact that the theme of the anniversary is Goku and Vegeta. So when the Part 1 units came out, obviously people were speculating about GT and Broly movie units, and then we got the EZAs for the Tech Gogeta Physical Omega, and then the Tech God Goku and STR God Goku. They tied directly into the Part 1 banners, but I did not think that they were then necessarily going to tie into the later LRs, EZAs as well, because like, who's it going to be? Like the Broly trio, maybe? But yeah, Physical Gogeta and INT Vegito. So remember, these units are already pretty good. I mean, they're a little bit outdated now for sure, but you can still run them in fairly difficult content, and they're not the worst units in the game. Because obviously one of the most useful things that they do is this transformation condition. Whilst it sucks that it's from turn 6, especially for things like Super Battle Road, but in longer form events, when you drop below that 50% HP, you get the fusion, but then you also get a full heal, which can be really, really beneficial in some of these longer and more difficult events. So obviously the only thing we know at the moment is that they're going to get an EZA. We don't know anything about the details. So one thing that I know people were a little bit disappointed about was the fact that the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and the Physical Omega, they combined them into one Extreme Z battle. The Super Saiyan Gods, it's not really surprising, because they've been doing that with Goku and Vegeta units for quite a while, having the like Destined Rivals EZA, where it just has the Goku and Vegeta in the same event. But Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and Omega, by like previous standards, probably should have had separate Extreme Z battles. They did give out like an extra 10 stones, so it was like 40 instead of 30 for that one. But I know a few people were disappointed. Honestly, it's better that they did it that way than only EZAing one of them if they didn't want to give out too many stones. But it'll be interesting to see whether these guys both get their own LR EZA Extreme Z battles, or if they will also be combined into the same one. It would be the first ever like LR Destined Rivals kind of EZA. So obviously, best case scenario for the player base is that it is two separate EZAs in one, because then obviously you're going to be able to get 60 stones rather than 30. Who knows, maybe they do the same thing as the Gogeta and Omega one, where they do combine them, but we end up getting 40 stones overall. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. Bear in mind their leader skills. We have Fusion for Gogeta and Potara for Vegito, obviously. I could see these just bumping up to being 170 across the board. Would be very interesting to see if they incorporate the new leader skill mechanic, but I think that's very, very unlikely, because obviously so many people have these older units now. They've been on a lot of banners since they came out, like, what, 4 years ago. So a lot of people probably have these guys fully maxed out, so I don't think they would give out, basically, not for free, obviously, but it's kind of like giving everybody a free 200% leader, because so many people would have these guys. So I don't see that happening. But I would imagine 170 across the board. If they bumped up the key to 4 as well, that'd be awesome. Because we already have 170 leads for these teams. So 170 across the board and 4 key would be amazing, especially for bringing multiple LRs on that team. And then their secondary leader skill is their own typing, doesn't differentiate between super or extreme, 3 key and 90%. I think they could easily bump this up to 120, because as a sub leader skill percentage, like 120 is still pretty low. Like nobody really runs 120 leaders for difficult content. So the sub leader skill is not really as important, but I can see that going up to 120. So What do they need to give them to make them competitive in the current meta? So on the 12 key super as Goku and Vegeta is just colossal damage. The 18 key super is raises attack for 1 turn and does mega colossal damage. This is the same for both of them. So obviously, we always get this meme where people say like, oh, they just need to give this unit more defense in their EZA and then they'll be really good. And then Dokkan goes ahead and just gives them more defense in their EZA and then they kind of suck compared to some of the other EZAs that we've seen. So something like raises attack and defense for 1 turn, something like that would be perfect on their super for the 12 key, and they already raise attack for 1 turn on the 18 key. You could literally make that greatly raises attack and then normal raises defense for 1 turn on both of their supers, and then obviously that would make them a little bit better defensively. Their stats at the start of the turn, 120, I could see this going up to 150 quite easily, and then they get 2 key per Rainbow Sphere. They're not going to change that at all. And then the passive for these guys is the same as well. Imagine if they did bump this up to key plus 3. It's already super easy to 18 key super with them, but yeah, that would be amazing. So the fusion condition is the #1 thing that I want to see what the change is going to be, because we've now seen with units like the STR-21 that they are willing to change transformation conditions with an EZA. So 100% we need to change this, right? I'm not too fussed about the HP 50% or below, realistically, but we need to change this. Like, this should be at the most turn 5, ideally like turn 4, and then if they change this as well, imagine if this went to like 60% or below from turn 4. That would actually be insane. Like, you would actually get to consistently see them fuse all the time. Turn 4 is very realistic for like Super Battle Road, so getting like a free heal in the maybe what is like the final turn of Super Battle Road, then prepping you to go into the next fight on full health would be absolutely insane. And then of course the differences arrive once we get to the fusions. So we've got Gogeta and Vegito. So Vegito, I mean, honestly, just think how cracked this man is going to be with an EZA because of his counters, right? So recovers all HP, that's from the fusion. Counters normal attacks with tremendous power. Attack and defense 150 at the start of the turn, and he gets 3 key per rainbow orb. So that's why I think they'll keep key plus 2 for the base, because otherwise this would have to go up to 4, or stay the same, I guess. But so attack and defense 150 start of turn. This could easily go up to at least 160 or even 180. Because remember, LRs, when they EZA, they don't get any extra levels, so their stats don't go up. So numbers like this in their passive going up is really, really important. Because for a TUR, if they only get a slight buff to their start of turn attack and defense, they're actually getting a much bigger buff because they're going up to level 140, so they're getting more stats. But LRs do not do that. So the 12 key is still just colossal damage. The 18 key is mega colossal, raises allies attack by 30% for 1 turn. Again, adding defense, like if they're going to add raises defense for 1 turn on the base, I say base because they're obviously Super Saiyans, but the untransformed version, imagine if they just kept that but then changed it to greatly raises attack and defense for both of their supers. And then because we had the idea that this one could be greatly raises and then normal raises on the untransformed version, imagine if it was massively raises attack and greatly raises. I don't think it will be. It could just go up to greatly raises for both. I think that would be fair. If the untransformed version was greatly raises attack for 1 turn and then normal raises defense for 1 turn, the transformed version could go up to greatly raises for both. And then this guy's going to be nuts, especially after supering, right? Raising his attack, raising his defense, and then tanking hits. He doesn't have like a lot of the other Vegitos. The fact that he would have damage reduction against normal attacks, I feel like that's something they could easily put in. And then also imagine if they added the feature from the STR Vegito and Tech Gogeta, where after the fusion you can see super attacks. That would be insane. And then this guy obviously has similar super attack effects. He lowers attack and defense on his 18 key, which is quite useful for harder content. So again, I'd like to see some sort of attack and defense raise on this. And then he gets attacks effective against all types instead of the counters. So that's good for damage output in his super. But when you compare that to the amount of damage Vegito can put out with all of his counters, I feel like he needs to get something extra, right? Like if they're both going to have the same sort of passive, attack and defense, let's say 180 at the start of turn, and then he has attacks effective against all types, but Vegito has counters. I feel like he needs to have like high chance to perform an additional super attack or something like that, because otherwise on Vegito's best turn he's still going to be putting out way more damage than Gogeta. But either way, it still remains to be seen, so let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comment section. Do you think we will get one Extreme Z battle for both of them, or do you think it will be two separate ones? What do you think the weaknesses for them will be? I can imagine that Gogeta's is either going to be like movie bosses or corroded body and mind, something to do with Janemba, and then Vegito's is going to be like Margin Power or Margin Buu Saga, something like that. So yeah, let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.